Hi guys, James at Bespoke Airsoft here, and it's that time again, and in this review we're looking at the Ares Striker AS03. Yes, this seems to be the long lost relative that nobody loves or likes for that instance, but this is the Ares Striker AS03, and you might be looking at this thinking, oh, that's quirky and fun, or you might be looking at this thinking, oh god, why, which many of us feel the same way. But don't write it off just yet, because this thing may surprise you. We'll get into the top down camera first, we'll take a closer look at this thing, and then I'll be back on camera to tell you my thoughts. Well, here we have it guys, the long awaited Ares Striker AS03. Isn't quite just released yet at the time of me putting this video up there, but it is available pre-order on our website. They're due within the next few days or so. I think it's about the 7th of August they're due, so next Wednesday, because I'm filming this on the Wednesday before. Not sure when the video will go out. So Ares sent me one. They asked me what colour I'd like. I just picked a random colour, I said green. This isn't a sample from Ares that I get to keep, it's literally just so I can take a look at it ahead of the release, so thanks very much to them for that. So what is the AS03? The AS03 is the third iteration of rifle from Ares. The Striker platform that they did the AS01, which was the long variant. You know, I'm an advocate for the Ares Striker platform. If you've been watching this channel for a while, we were some of the first to get behind the platform, started doing upgrade parts for it, this, that and the other. We did a short barrel for it, which Ares copied, and then they came out with the AS02. Ares also loosely copied the bespoke ED1 trigger platform. They've copied the design of that and put it into the AS02 series. But getting all that out of the way, this is the AS03. So they did the AS01, they went to the AS02, which was the short barrel, which everyone was running. I was running myself anyway. I was a big advocate of. It's a very good way to run the rifle. They released the AS02, people really enjoyed it, but then Ares being Ares have just, you know, gone, right, we're going to go one step further, we're going to do the AS03, which I was shown an image from Ares like a long time ago of what they were calling the AS03, and it wasn't a short one, it was actually a long rifle, and it had this funky stock system on there, and I was like, oh, that looks cool. So when people were saying they'd seen the AS03, many were saying that it was this, that and the other, and it was I was just sort of sitting back giggling because no one really had a clue. But then Ares switched it up completely and was like, no, the one that we've shown you, we've decided to go a completely different direction. So the AS03 they've took even shorter. They've got this rid of the stock completely, so you've just got a pistol grip, and they've really shortened the muzzle on here. And myself and many others in the Ares Striker community looked at this and we were like, oh my god, Ares, what are you doing? You're just going wacky again, you're giving us stuff that we just don't want. Improve the current platform, do something else. So this hasn't received a lot of love from myself or the community at all. Our distributors in the UK obviously got in contact with me and said, look, we want you to have a look at the AS03. Begrudgingly I said, okay, let's have a look. So managed to actually get Ares to send me one of these ahead of the release. So all that nonsense out the way, this is the AS03. It's an AS02 receiver, AS02 bolt handle, bolt cover. Basically everything receiver wise is an AS02. So it's had a new stock, which is this pistol grip style pirate thing that they're doing. It's had a new handguard, a new outer barrel, new inner barrel. The hop unit, from what I can tell, is the same. Cylinder, everything's the same. Trigger, everything here is the same as the AS02. But they've got a new magazine as well. And this was probably, once I saw it, this was probably the thing that I was most excited about with the AS03, was these diddy little mags. So I actually have a couple of mags to hand here. This is the AS01 magazine. This is the short magazine, which they released after. And this is the third magazine that they've done. You see how it's getting smaller. I think we're just going to have a tiny little triangle mag soon. There's been many memes and stuff flying around about this platform that the AS04 is just going to be a pistol grip. So we'll see where Ares go with it. But I'm really excited about this mag. Now look how dinky that is. Now I ran these mags, and then as soon as the short mags came out, I kind of binned these off and started using the short mags because they held just as much. This was a single stack, this was a double stack, this is a double stack magazine as well. I use the short mags. This being an AS02 receiver, it will take all the magazines. The AS01 obviously takes the big magazines which came out first. It looks a bit silly, doesn't it? The AS01 also takes the short magazines, and then they come out with this magazine which is nice and flush, which people seem to like very much like myself. It's nice and flush, it's out of the way. Snipers tend to not go through that much ammo anyway. I mean, some of the first games I went to, I was carrying about 4 of these, and I found like in one skirmish I was probably using 1 if I was lucky, so this is a very welcomed addition. Now if you have an AS01 and you want this magazine, it will not fit the AS01 unless you trim the 2 fins at the front and back. You're going to have to trim them off, and then this shorter magazine will fit in the gun just fine. So magazines out the way. It's obviously going to be a lot easier to find pouches for this magazine as well, of course. But in terms of pouches, we've got some cool ones to look at soon on the channel. So metal receiver, just like the O2, metal barrel, all the workings inside are pretty much metal apart from the plastic trigger. Stock is plastic, of course, and you've got some M-lock panels here, M-lock on the bottom. You've got a QD sling swivel on the front here, which is included. And the rest of it you pretty much know. So they've got the same 23mm thread on here. So I thought I'd grab a suppressor too so we can have a look. Now Aries being Aries love to do these things, so they go, right, you've got an Aries striker, and if you've got the AS02 or if you're looking to get the AS03, Aries sell this lovely thick suppressor. Very nice, huh? Doesn't go on. So when they designed this to begin with the AS01, they actually recessed the threads in there. So when they did the AS02 and now the AS03, they've put the threads right on the end of the handguard here, so this actually won't fit, and you have to buy another part from Aries, which is an adapter which goes in here to the threads and then brings the threads basically back flush with the here. However, just because I know you guys want to see it, I've actually got a little lathe which I like to do some work on here and there, so I've actually threaded this to the correct pattern of the AS01, 2 and 3 series, and let's just pop this on here. So it's not a very great suppressor, it's just a cheap one I've got off the shelf. Just thought I'd put a threading tool through it. The problem is these bits are loose, and you turn one, it loosens the other off. So, but there you go. So you can see it looks pretty cool with the suppressor on, doesn't it? So, however, let's go one better. In fact, I'm probably going to wait till I'm back in the main camera to do this, just because it's going to be difficult to do on the TDC. So let me just take that off there. Put this cap back on there. So that's pretty much a little brief overview of the O3. It doesn't come with any sights or anything, but none of the guns ever did. So we'll cut to the chrono test now. I heard reports these were supposed to be doing about 400 out the box in their form. Not the case with this one, so I'll put the chrono test up, 0.2 gram BBs, and then we'll get to the 50-meter accuracy test, which you will be so surprised, which I was. I shot this thing at the 50-meter accuracy test, and I was just like, huh? What? How? not sort of adjusting the hop or anything throughout the test. I do 0.2s first, 0.3s, which you'll see a little bit more variance because I hadn't adjusted the hop for the 0.3s, and then I go to the mini target at 15 meters, and you're going to be super surprised with these results. So yeah, just over a joule I think on the chrono results there, so not massively powerful. When I first looked at this thing, when I first felt this thing and it was given to me, I was like, yeah, I don't really see the point in this. It's too small to be a sniper rifle. It's too big to be a pistol. It's not easy to load like a shotgun because, you know, that ain't that easy. So if you put in bigger springs in, that's only going to get harder. So I was like, where are they expecting this rifle to fit in? And then I started playing with it. And you can just imagine Ares, like in their factory, they've done the AS01, great success. They've done the AS02, bear in mind you did steal a few ideas of us for that, but they've had great success. And then they're just sitting in the factory and they're just thinking, oh, what? Let's have a bit of fun, let's do something quirky. And I imagine this is where that came from. So it's got the same base platform as the AS02 with obviously some very big differences. It's got no stock, you've just got a pistol grip, you've got a really small handguard, really small outer and inner barrel. And we've got this new funky tiny magazine, which I do adore. It's very, very cute indeed. So just to put that into perspective for you, we've got a big magazine. We have the shorter magazine, which released after. And then we have the new dinky, new hotness magazine, which is really low profile. I do like it. So, like I said, just under 300, so safe for any and all sights. They take AEG springs, so they're easy to upgrade and downgrade. Get into the accuracy test. When I loaded this thing up first with .2s and shot it, and I've had this for about a week now. It's kind of one of them moments where you shot it and you sort of lean back and you're like, huh? What? What's that all about? You know, that can't... I mean, I know it's only 15 metres, but I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting this thing to be like a shotgun. I was, you know, thinking it was going to spray all over the place. So, what do I do with the targets? Oh, the targets are right there. Got the wrong targets. So, not sure if you'll see this on camera. I might have to hold it so you can see it. If you can't see it, I really do apologise, but this was .2s. This was the first test. A couple of the shots, absolutely aced. Bear in mind, this thing has no stock. It's got no iron sights. I was literally cocking it and just kind of hovering my eyeball over the top of the rail here. So imagine what you could do with a scope or a red dot. So yeah, I was just pointing it at that, which at 15 metres isn't the easiest thing to do when you haven't got an optic. It might not sound that way, but seriously, that with .2s, I was like, whoa. So .3s I went to. Hope you like the new emojis. I was getting a bit bored. .3s, you know, obviously, I was kind of having to gauge more where they were dropping because .3s are heavier. I don't mess with the hop units, so it was dropping lower than the .2s. So I was figuring that out, and you can kind of, once you got it figured out where it's landing, grouping is very, very good indeed. And then I even went to the small target, and I don't think I actually missed. I may have missed one, maybe. But look at that size target. That is 15 metres away, smaller than a head, no iron sights, no optic whatsoever, with a gun that you can't really hold as a pistol or a rifle with a stock. You kind of just have to hover it. It's really strange. But, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 shots landed on that target, 4 of which are in the centre circle. So I was kind of like, Amanda came home and I was like, what? I said to her, I said, what gun do you think did that? And there was guns on the table, and she, very rightly so, picked something else, which I would have done. I never would have thought that gun would have given that result. So I'm really quite surprised. And then I got thinking, let's get into the Ares mindset. So I've got a few bits and pieces here and there because I have striker bits all over the place. So I'll be back in just a moment. I'm just going to have a tinker. Welcome back. I'm going to deem this the Ares Striker kneecapper because it has that very much like KCO2 kneecapper vibe to it. all of a sudden I'm excited about this platform. And yes, these sort of main stock pieces are hard to get. This is the stock off my AS02 with the Kydex carrier that I sort of put together here for carrying another mag without having to put one in sort of like your pouches on your gear or anything. I'm just going to leave that in there because it's a bit hard to pull out, but there you go. So AS02 stock, I've just got a short dot on here with a suppressor that I've threaded to go onto the barrel, and this thing is actually really comfortable. I'd almost be tempted. I do like running like suppressors on my rifles to sort of dull down the thud that comes out the barrel as the BB leaves, but I'd almost be tempted to run like a 300mm barrel in here and run it like this, because that, to me, personally, I think this is really cool. You know, this absolutely useless, bin it off, you know, but I'm hoping that, you know, these little handguards and the barrel sets they might do separately, because that's really cool. These new mags I like as well. I love how short and low profile that is. But this just goes to show you what you can do with the Area Striker platform, and why I and many others hold it so dearly. It's because it's so modular. It's like a piece of Lego. Bits and pieces just switch out really nice and easy. There's loads of parts available for them now. And honestly, now I can see this. The suppressor's got no foam in the way, by the way, so it's going to sound a little bit weird. This is now something that I think I would run. I mean, I just love how small this thing is. I really do like that. What they should do, Aries, if you are listening, what you want to do next is do a stock that's folding. That would be cool. I'm pretty sure you could pull that together. That would finish this off, a folding stock, so you can run like, I don't know, a normal AEG and just have this sort of strapped to your backpack at sort of like a Milsom event or something. This is going to be absolutely awesome. So I hope you've enjoyed this overview of the AS03, as surprising as it may be. And this thing, oh god, I don't think I want to give this AS03 back now. I think I might have to ask them nicely if I can keep it, because I want to build a rifle in this. But thanks for tuning in. Hope you've enjoyed the AS03. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, like, subscribe to us, all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.